Hey, I'm Alexa from Game Snacks. Today we're not talking about Roblox. We're talking about Pragmata, a game that was born with applause in 2020 and then drowned in silence for years. A game that everyone assumed was dead, and that, against all odds, rose from the grave in 2026 to become one of the strangest and most fascinating titles of the decade. If you don't know it, let me set the stage. Capcom, yes, the same Capcom behind Resident Evil and Street Fighter, announced Pragmata with a trailer that didn't look like a video game. It looked like a European art film. A lone astronaut. A little android girl with empty eyes. An abandoned lunar base. And one line that still echoes, Pragmata. What does it mean? Nobody knew. Nobody still knows. The game was delayed once. Twice. 3 times. Capcom stopped talking about it. Cancellation rumors spread like wildfire. And then, in 2026, silently, Pragmata appeared on digital storefronts. No marketing campaign. No interviews. As if Capcom itself wanted to hide it. But players found it. And what they discovered was much stranger, much more broken, and much more beautiful than anyone imagined. Today, I'm going to tell you 5 secrets about Pragmata that Capcom never wanted you to know. Some are technical, some are human, and one of them will break your heart. Buckle up. This is long, but it's worth it. Secret number 1. Pragmata was rebooted twice from scratch, and it almost died in the process. The official story says the delays were due to the pandemic and technical complexity. The real story is much crazier. The first version of Pragmata was a linear action game, something like Dead Space, but with less horror and more walking. Capcom spent about 18 months on that version. They had levels, enemy designs, even voice acting. But when they showed it to internal testers, the feedback was brutal. Too generic, feels like a clone, nothing special. So they scrapped everything, wiped the hard drives, started over. The second version was ambitious. Too ambitious. It was an open-world survival game set across multiple abandoned space stations. You would have to scavenge for resources, manage your oxygen levels, and protect Diana from environmental hazards. Think Subnautica meets Soma. They worked on this version for nearly 2 years. But test players hated it. They said it felt empty, frustrating, and aimless. One playtester wrote in a report, "I spent 3 hours walking through gray corridors and died from lack of air. I didn't care about the girl. I just wanted it to end." That was the breaking point. In early 2022, Capcom's executives held a meeting to decide whether to cancel Pragmata entirely. The vote was almost unanimous, kill it. But a small group of senior developers, 5 people to be exact, begged for one last chance. They promised they could build a working vertical slice in 3 months. The executives agreed, but only on one condition: no overtime pay. The team worked nights and weekends anyway. They built the core of the final game, the relationship between Hugh and Diana, the holographic systems, the lunar base, in just 18 months. One animator wrote in a now-deleted tweet, "I didn't see my family for half a year." In 2023, when the vertical slice was finally shown to executives, the reaction changed. Pragmata was saved. But the cost was high. Several developers left the industry after release. Burnout was real. And yet, they created something unique. Secret number 2. The Dead Space meme was never planned. It came from test players. When Capcom showed early builds to focus groups, almost everyone said the same thing: Hugh feels like a father, not just a guardian. At first, the developers were surprised. They hadn't written a father-daughter relationship. The script originally described Hugh as a detached operative. But the body language of the characters, the way Hugh caught Diana when she stumbled, how he always placed himself between her and danger, the way he carried her when she got tired, created that bond organically. The team decided to lean into it. They added small details, Hugh brushing dust off Diana's shoulder, saying "stay close" in a soft voice, shielding her from explosions with his own body. Players noticed immediately. The term "Dad Space" went viral on Reddit and TikTok. Fan art exploded. People started photoshopping Hugh into pictures of real fathers. Capcom officially embraced the meme. They even released a Dad Space shirt for the in-game avatar, and all proceeds went to a children's charity. During a live stream, the game's director said, "We didn't mean to make you cry. But if you cried, that's okay. Not bad for something that started as a joke." Secret number 3. Pragmata's holograms are not pre-rendered. Every single hologram in the game, from Diana's flickering projections to the environmental screens, is calculated in real time. That's the main reason the game was delayed so many times. The physics engine has to track light particles, refraction, and environmental interference for every holographic display. If a shadow passes over a hologram, the light dims. If water droplets fall on a projection, the image ripples. If an explosion shakes the room, the hologram flickers and distorts. One developer told me, off the record, that the hologram system alone took 4 years to perfect. He said, "We rebuilt the lighting engine 3 times. The first 2 versions were too slow. The third one worked, but it crashed every hour for 6 months." The result is stunning. You can see holograms react to Diana's proximity. They brighten when she looks at them. They cast light onto surfaces. They even reflect off the astronaut's visor. It's overkill. It's unnecessary. But that's what makes Pragmata special. No other game has attempted real-time holographic physics at this scale. It's a technical miracle that almost bankrupted the project. According to leaked budget documents, the hologram research alone cost over $2 million. And you know what? Worth every penny. Secret number 4. There's a hidden memorial to a developer who died during production. In the lunar base level, there's an elevator that most players ignore. It's tucked behind a broken food dispenser, easy to miss. If you take that elevator to a floor marked unauthorized, you'll find a small, empty room. No enemies, no puzzles, no collectibles. Just a single holographic plaque on the wall. It reads, "For Yui, she made the stars move." Yui Tanaka was a junior environment artist. She was 24 years old. She joined Capcom in 2021, right out of art school. Her job was to design the distant planets you see through the lunar base windows. She spent months on those tiny details, the rings of a gas giant, the glow of a nebula, the light curve of a distant star. In 2022, she died in a car accident on her way home from work. Her teammates were devastated. Without telling management, they secretly added this memorial room in the patch that released 1 month after the accident. The room is hidden. The plaque is small, but it's there. Capcom only found out about it months later when a player posted a screenshot online. Instead of removing it, they patched in a new achievement called Stargazer for anyone who finds the room. The achievement icon is a small star. Yui's family was informed. Her mother wrote a letter to the development team. "Thank you for keeping her light alive." Every time you see a beautiful skybox in Pragmata, remember that a real person put her heart into those pixels. And now, a part of her lives forever in the game. Secret number 5.
What?
Pragmata originally had 3 different endings. 2 were cut for being too dark. The final game has a bittersweet but hopeful ending. Hugh and Diana walking toward a distant sunrise, hand in hand. That wasn't the plan. According to leaked design documents, the first alternate ending had Hugh sacrificing himself to power a broadcast tower. He sends a final message to Diana, "Be human for both of us." Then he goes silent. Diana watches his vitals flatline on her wrist display. The final shot is her standing alone, looking at Earth. Test players found it too depressing. One wrote, "I almost threw my controller." The second cut ending was even darker. Diana absorbs too much data from the lunar core and starts glitching permanently. Her eyes flicker between blue and red. Her voice fractures. The final shot is her staring at Hugh with completely white eyes, smiling a smile that isn't hers. That version was rejected by Capcom's higher UPS because it would harm the franchise potential. They wanted a sequel. So the team wrote a third ending in a single weekend. It was meant as a placeholder, something functional to show test players. But the test players loved it. They said it felt earned. They said it made them cry. One player wrote, "I don't need a sequel. I just need them to be okay." So the placeholder became the real ending. It was written in a hurry by a junior writer who had never written a game ending before. And it's perfect. Sometimes the best art comes from last-minute desperation. Pragmata isn't just a game. It's a story of survival, both for the characters and for the developers who refuse to let it die. It's about the weight of fatherhood, the ghost of a dead artist floating among the stars, and the holographic tears of a girl who isn't real. Capcom tried to hide all of this behind marketing silence. But players found it. And now you know too. Which secret surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that subscribe button. I post new gaming secrets every single day. And if you want even more secrets that don't make it to YouTube, check out my Ko-Fi and my ebook. Links are in the description. Thanks for watching. I'm Alexa from Game Snacks, and I'll see you in the next video.